good day, everyone. I'm your host, Paul Lawrence Van. I'm host of Wealth Academy podcast, and our mantra is what? Wealth is more than just money. And today we have an amazing guest, one who I'm really looking forward to learning more about. His name is Tareq Hadhad. Good day, Tareq. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much, Paul, for having me.
Okay, fantastic. And what we normally do is we start out with the bio, and I'll cover your bio, and we'll go on from there.
Let's do this.
Okay. Tareq Hadhad was a Syrian refugee and now living with his new life with his entrepreneur family in Canada's East Coast. He is the founder and CEO of Peace by Chocolate. He's the recipient of the Ernest Young Atlantic Entrepreneur of the Year 2021. He's named one of the top 25 immigrants in the Maritimes, selected by Google as the National Hero Case, and was awarded RBC, Royal Bank of Canada's top Immigrant Award and Entrepreneur of the Year in 2020. But that's not all. Since Tareq's arrival on Canada's East Coast in 2015 as a Syrian Canadian newcomer, he has been invited to speak to countless audiences across Canada and internationally. He's a motivational speaker. And get this, he has had the privilege to meet former President of the United States, Barack Obama, one of our favorites, of course, and Canadian prime ministers, and had conversations with many world leaders, which is outstanding. Now, his family's journey has been detailed in a book called Peace by Chocolate, as well as a feature film premiering in Cineplex theaters across Canada on May 6th, as well as here in the United States, because I've looked it up, and there are areas here in Washington, D.C. that I'm planning on going to see it myself. And in January 2020, Tareq received his official Canadian citizenship, which garnered international attention, and he can't wait to collect stamps in his passports. Please welcome Tareq Hadhad. So Tareq, welcome to the show this morning, and we really want to share your story. To me, it's about perseverance through adversity. Now, again, you were growing up and you're the son of a very successful entrepreneur in Syria who specialized in making exceptional chocolates, even though he had a background in silver engineering. Let's talk about that just a bit.
Yep, absolutely. I am honored. I always say I'm blessed to be in a family where my dad did not just take the status quo, did not accept what the community, what society really expected from him since he was born. He took it to another level. He is a risk taker, and he taught us all that you do not have to follow what you started if you do not like it anymore. Passion is evolving. Passion is about following really where the journey takes you. And that's what he did back home in Syria 3 decades ago when he graduated as a civil engineer. And then he just wanted to make and take his path into entrepreneurship. And that's when really he realized that making chocolate was the best way to start his entrepreneurial journey, because he wanted to have something that is so unique and remarkable and very much together for people. You know, there are a lot of ideas out there in entrepreneurship that makes people divided, that separate people, that not a lot of people really like it. But when he realized that chocolate is something that is very universal, it's like music, everyone loves it.
Yes.
Regardless of your culture, regardless of your background, regardless of where you are born, regardless of your postal code, everyone loves chocolate. And he really liked that idea. So he started making chocolate in Damascus. And we were such a honored, you know, to be part of that family, part of that journey as we were born. Me and my siblings were always joining my dad and my mom in the mission of making the world a happier place through each piece of chocolate. And I remember, you know, the early days for our family. My mom joined my dad to make sure that the business does not only have a focus on making wealth, but also on giving opportunities to others, on giving back to other community organizations that take care of child cancers and thalassemia, and make sure that the impact of the business is not only positive on our family, but also on our community as a whole. So we were honored to have played the role as, you know, the sons and the daughters of a master chocolatier in the country that opened the second largest chocolate manufacturing facility in the region by 2005. And the factory was expanding and growing really quickly. It was exporting everywhere in the Middle East. The chocolate business has grown from the home kitchen in Damascus to two shops in Damascus and one on the way to the airport to the second largest chocolate manufacturing facility in the region. And it was not an easy journey. And then it was exporting everywhere to Turkey, to Egypt, to Belgium.
Yeah.
Imagine Belgium needs more
Yeah.
chocolate.
It makes chocolate. Yeah.
That's right. So they did not need more chocolate, but they believed that we have been making something unique and remarkable, and they believed in the flavors and the things that we were doing. So that's why my father opened a connection there, and he was exporting his products to Belgium. But then it was tough to imagine where the journey might take you. But I remember that everyone in my family was very much supportive of the idea of taking new opportunities, of starting new path in life, and opening yourself a whole new world of options and possibilities. Because passion can take you to places where you have never really imagined yourself being to, and I think not accepting the way you have been imagining your future is going to look like, I think is very important. And I think everyone kind of take opportunities as they go. We have been born in the most ancient city in the world. Damascus
Uh-huh.
is the city where we were born. It goes back almost 10,000 years
Yeah.
BCE. It's the most ancient place and inhabited city in the entire world. So we wanted to make the best out of the opportunity, the most out of the opportunity, and we wanted to certainly be that positive example. So that's just in a nutshell, that I come from a
Yeah.
family that does not only make chocolate, but it makes happiness.
Yes, you're making community and you're employing people. So it's all really greater than the chocolate. It goes beyond that, but it goes internationally as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, international as well. In fact, I'll tell you just how well it's doing. It's doing really well. Yes, my
I'm
chef
glad
just
the box
came in
made it to the
yesterday.
interview.
Yes,
Oh, look at you.
my
Perfect.
boss,
Paul,
yes,
you must have a great sense of patience. That's
yes,
great.
my house has never been this peaceful. So thank you, and thank you for your
Self-control,
father.
self-control.
Yes, your father is Isam.
That's right.
Okay? Yes, yes. Thank him for me.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So let's talk about it just a bit, Tareq, in regards to those moments in life that we never forget. If you can share with our viewers and our listeners what it was like on the day that you discovered that the chocolate factory is bombed, and of course that put your family at risk and employees at risk there in Damascus on that fateful day.
It was such a horrible experience living through the war. The hardest experience for any war is that no one is prepared for it. It
Yes,
does not give you a time for reflection. It does not give you a time to prepare yourself and your family to evacuate or to save yourselves. It
true.
just happens in a blink of an eye. Everything in any war happens in a blink of an eye.
Yes,
And what happened in Syria is people were asking for reforms, people were asking for better dignity and the
true.
basics of human rights that anyone in the world really dreams about. So in 2012, the war reached Damascus. After the protests started in 2011, the war was destroying neighborhoods, bombing and killing innocent civilians. And
Right.
honestly, the real victims of that war were civilians who were just dreaming of having another day to
To
live
live.
and contribute and be worthy of existing as human beings. And it was horrible to see that hundreds of thousands of people have been killed and injured and arrested and went missing. Many of them were part of my family members and my
True.
brother-in-law, who was arrested and he was killed in prison. So
Oh,
the journey has been difficult. It has
mhm.
not been easy. It has been very painful in many milestones that we have gone through. And by the end of 2012, after we lost our building we were living in, the entire family,
Yeah.
um, that building that we were living in was burnt, and then it was bombed by the tank. And
True.
the soldiers actually stole everything in the building before they even bombed it, because
Exactly.
in a war, you cannot really control what anyone with a weapon can just do whatever they want. So
Exactly.
we realized that at that time, um, we were not born to immigrate. We were not born to be refugees. We were not born to leave our homeland. And then we started looking for another way to contribute another way to be there for our country, and that was through making chocolate.
Yes.
My dad said the country needs chocolate during the war more than anything. At
Very
that
true.
time, I was on the way to become a physician. I was in med school in Damascus, almost finishing up.
Mhm.
And then by the end of 2012, I got a call from my dad. He said, "It's going well. There are hundreds of employees today. We have full shift, and people are making chocolate. We're going to distribute them." And then I was very scared about what was going on. I called him after I watched the news. After half an hour, I said, "Dad, I just watched the news. It's very scary. They said there are going to be explosions around the building."
Yes.
And he said, "I cannot hear anything." And I said, "I just watched that. They're going to start bombing the area. So please ask everyone to leave, and please leave and come home." Um, my dad agreed. He asked everyone to leave. He did not want to. He did not want to put anyone at risk at the factory.
Sure.
And my father and everyone had left the factory. That was by the end of 2012.
Hmm.
And he arrived home. He did not know what happened. But the fact is, 10 minutes after my father had left the factory, it was bombed by an airstrike.
Wow. Now that's very close.
It was very
10
close.
minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes.
It was very close, and no one really
Yeah,
knew what happened because my dad, the only thing that he was really careful about is make sure that everyone got out of that building.
safely. Yeah.
And then after the factory was bombed, my father came home and he did not speak to anyone. He was speechless for 3 days because he said, in a blink of an eye, everything he has been working so hard for, everything he's built with blood, sweat, and tears was gone.
Wow.
And after 3 speechless days, it was really horrible to just live through that experience. But we still decided not to leave the country. We still decided to stay in our homeland because we thought that we can still contribute, we can still give back, we can still do things.
Exactly.
I can become a physician. My dad can rebuild the factory.
Sure.
But then we realized that at so many points, my family were in danger. Many mortar rocket hit very close to us. At one point,
Yeah.
my brother and I were on sidewalk, and then he lost his consciousness after an explosion. I carried him. We ran to the house. Then I told my family, it is not time to do medicine, not time to do chocolate,
Yeah,
not
right.
time to do business. It's
Right.
time to
Save,
survive
save
and
the
time to
life.
save the family. We
Absolutely.
wanted to save the lives for everyone, which is very much the most important part of anyone's journey, is to make sure that their family is safe, that no matter what they want to do, there will be always time. As long as you are alive, you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. As long as you are safe and healthy, you can do whatever you want. But if you die, then all your dreams would die with you. All the
Absolutely.
ambitions and the goals that you have are gonna die with you. And that was not the goal that we wanted to have. So at that time, we just decided by March 2013
Sure.
that it was time to leave the country, that it was time to look on for another journey, that even though we become refugees in Lebanon, but we thought that we might have the opportunity to come back again to Damascus after the war stops. And
Sure.
that's a dream for everyone.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
Oh,
whenever you live in a war zone, the goal is always to think, how can you go back to your home country?
yes. Yes. Well, I'll tell you that was quite a shift going on right there. And I'm pretty sure because at that point in time, you were about 20 in your early 20s.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
in
I
the
was in
early
my early
20s.
20s. Yes,
And
that's right.
so with that, you had a shift from going to being a physician. And so I guess today, when we look at it, you made that shift from being a refugee in Lebanon to making it to Canada.
Right.
Antigonish, I believe it's pronounced.
And they're gonna share. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It's a
And
small
so
town, small lovely town.
yes, and in many ways, the medicine that you're practicing today is through chocolate.
Yes, I always say the medicine I'm practicing today is through love, kindness, and
Kindness,
peace.
peace. Yes.
These are the three main values really that I care about every single day, and I think chocolate just happens to be,
The
the
centerpiece.
absolutely icing on the top. Yes, exactly. It's just like the addition, to these values, and I think the vehicle and ambassadorship for all of those values come through chocolate because, as I mentioned, it's very universal. It's something that everyone loves. It's something that brings people together. It's something that
Sure.
people share on occasions that people really have so much passion and enthusiasm for. And that's why really I'm very passionate about the cause now of making sure our entrepreneurial journey is not about making great products, which they are. They are absolutely amazing,
Absolutely. I
but
can attest
also,
to this.
yes, but also the goal is to have a message and a value that we can spread out throughout each box of chocolate, each chocolate bar, each partnership we make. Every step of the way, there's much bigger mission for Peace by Chocolate than just
Yeah.
making a product.
And so the beautiful people of Canada, they brought you in and you had a chocolate factory built for you. And now you're employing probably most people in that area in Nova Scotia for your business, and you're spreading it all throughout Canada. You had the fires on the west side of Western Canada, and you made contributions to the people there because you knew what being out of one's home is like.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, Paul. You know, when we came to Canada, we said we probably did not have any money with us because we
yeah,
lost everything in the war. But that did
absolutely.
not mean we came here empty-handed.
Sure.
What it meant is we probably thought about translating our skills and experiences into an opportunity for a life.
Yes.
Because immigrants, refugees, newcomers, they're always motivated to translate their skills and experiences. And when we came here, we said we did not lose these skills, we did not lose these talents. I could not go back to medicine because Canada made it too hard for
Sure.
newcomers or refugees or any international students with degrees that they finished or did not finish yet in medicine, pharmacy, engineering, all of these high, high ranked degrees. They did
Sure.
not really want to they did not want to accept us the way we are, and
Sure.
they wanted us to spend lose another 10 years of our lives just trying to go back to the things that we wanted to do. And I
Sure.
felt that was going to steal a lot of my life, trying to go back to medicine. And then I started asking the family. We had a very frank conversation on the dinner table, and I
Sure.
said, what do you guys want to do? Should
Mhm.
we start a business? Should we look for jobs? Should we look for building any organizations, or should we volunteer, or should we do that? And then we put a roadmap. We put
Yeah.
a plan about how is the fastest way to contribute and give back to the community, give back to Canada.
Uh-huh.
And that was through the first answer I got from my little siblings who were just
Uh-huh.
in elementary and junior school at that time.
Sure.
They were like, everyone is gonna love us if we give them free chocolate on Main Street here in town. And they were so right. They were so right.
Children are very smart.
That's right. And we made a batch of chocolate. We went to community gathering. It was a potluck. And then at the gathering, everyone loved the chocolates. They were like all gone in 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So we had a great feedback from the community right there. And
Good.
then we were able to restart the business in the home kitchen again here
Okay.
in Canada. And you'd imagine that the same way my dad did it 35 years ago in Damascus,
Good.
we did
Yes.
it again here in Canada, the same
Uh-huh.
way in the home kitchen. But at the same time, the only difference is that was now my grandmother kicking my father out of the home kitchen. It was my mother.
Exactly.
So the beauty about it is the community believed that we have brought something unique and remarkable, and they
Exactly.
wanted to help us, to translate what we brought here into a successful business. And that's why what happened is we had a business going on. We had making chocolate in the home kitchen that we went to
Uh-huh.
uh, downstairs, so a little tiny room in the basement here in our house.
Sure.
And then we asked the community, we need a bigger spot.
Uh-huh.
And then they built a little tiny factory for us. It was two
Yeah.
sheds put together in
Uh-huh.
outside of our home. And then we needed a bigger factory only a few months later, after the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau went to the United Nations and
Right.
spoke about our family in front of the leaders of the world when Barack Obama was sitting there, Angela Merkel, and the leaders of all the G20
Oh
and
yeah.
many world presidents and prime
Leaders.
ministers.
Uh-huh.
So after that, we asked the community that we need a bigger space, and then we started looking for a bigger factory. We started bringing in machines from all over the world, and
Uh-huh.
we hired a lot of people then. And then our business started growing from there. We started distributing to a lot of chains across Canada and
Canada.
across the United States. We started shipping from B2C, business to consumer.
Mhm.
We have our online website that we ship as well to everywhere around the world right now, and looking forward for partnerships. But the main goal when we started the factory was that we did not come here to take jobs. We came here to create them. We
Exactly.
came here to
And
be
that's an
active in the
important
community.
difference as well. Yeah, that you
100%.
make a greater impact through employment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of people at that time were afraid. Were afraid
Yeah.
that refugees or immigrants or newcomers are coming to take away jobs or take
Jobs.
away opportunity or live on
Exactly.
taxpayers' money or be
Sure.
scared that they're going to change society or change the demography or bring
Sure.
their food and dominate, certain areas. And that
Sure.
was, the fears that people had were just based out of uncertainty.
Yeah,
We're
and
based
security.
out of
Right.
fear that is based
Yeah.
out of not knowing what the other person is, not knowing who the other
Exactly.
person is, not knowing what the other culture is, not knowing a lot about, how much we share as a human beings. The ultimate goal for all of us is to have a successful and bright future
Yes.
and live in
Absolutely.
peace. Live
Yeah.
in peace. Everyone's goal is the same thing. So I think people are judgmental of others before they meet
Sure.
them.
Right.
Everyone is judgmental of another person.
Preconceived notions that are
100%.
unfounded.
Absolutely. Totally
Yeah.
agree with you. And many people just build on those fears that they grow
Yes.
and take away from the reality that we are all the same,
Same.
regardless of our background, regardless of our ethnicity.
Absolutely.
We are all the same. We
Yeah.
have the same passions, we have the same goals, we have the same dreams. We can have the same limitless dreams and big goals in life. Because
Yeah.
Canada is a land of opportunity, and the
That's
land,
it.
it's like the United States. Canada
Yeah.
has been built by waves of immigrants just coming here to build
Right.
a life for themselves and their families. And if you are not indigenous in Canada,
Sure.
if you're not indigenous in the United States, if you're not native,
Right.
then you came from somewhere, or your grandparents came from somewhere, or your
Absolutely.
great great great
Good
grandparents
point.
came from somewhere, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Well, I tell you, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he did a great thing because he made people aware of the fact that of the gifts that you all had, your family had. And I thought that was amazing. And of course, I live here in the Washington, D.C. area, so I know Nancy Pelosi enjoyed that chocolate.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Because your embassy is just a couple of blocks from Capitol Hill anyway. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I got a chance to visit actually the embassy for
Right.
the first time a
Yeah.
few weeks ago when we did the premiere of our
Yeah.
movie in DC at the film festival.
Right. I
And
saw it.
I got the chance to meet the Ambassador Hillman,
Yes.
and do some tours in Washington DC on some museums. And you
Yeah.
guys are lucky because your
I
museums are
know.
free. So
Exactly, exactly. I saw your picture up there because you were up on a balcony, and I saw the Capitol in the
that's
background.
right. That's right.
Yes,
That's
but
at the embassy building.
I've been to your embassy several times
Oh, it's
before.
great.
Yeah,
It's a
very nice,
beautiful building. Really, really
beautiful,
beautiful building. Yeah,
great
incredible.
location too. Really nice location.
Couldn't be better location. That's right. Very central. I
Very
asked actually
simple.
about the experiences during president's inauguration, and it's a big day
Yeah,
there.
absolutely,
During during
absolutely.
uh, during any inauguration, which is really marvelous. The way that we share our
Yeah,
cultures between
yes,
the both countries is very marvelous and very unique in different
yeah,
way.
absolutely.
Between the principles of democracy, of
Yeah,
freedom, of human
yeah,
rights.
yes.
The most peaceful border in the entire world, the
In the
longest,
entire
most
world,
peaceful border. Yeah,
exactly.
it's very impressive, and I think it's something that to be inspired and to be, I think, copied in other places around the world where borders are a sense of conflict, not really a
Yeah,
sense of peace for many of those
absolutely,
countries.
absolutely. Let's talk just a little bit about the Russian incursion into Ukraine, and I know it's a very sensitive issue, and I know the people in Ukraine. I know what they're feeling today. I
Right.
know what they're feeling because it has to be just an awful feeling knowing that your neighbor really crossed that border and made it more of a conflict than of peace. What can you share with people in terms of what the Ukrainians may be experiencing today, not only as refugees but also as immigrants?
The sense of losing everything and having to make the rapid choices in life, I think, is the hardest part of the journey for immigrants and refugees.
Sure.
Ukrainians are like Syrians, are like Afghans, are like Iraqis, are like
Exactly.
Rwandans. Many people who lived in conflict are still living in conflict. Nothing changed. The same human experience 100 years ago, 50 years ago, during the Second World War, during the
Exactly.
Gulf War, during the Syrian War, or the war in Ukraine. It's
Yes.
always the same. The
Mhm.
ultimate suffering for a human being is to be unrooted.
Yes.
If we have roots in one place, if we are building a bright future, if we are building networks, if we have family members, if we build friendships, if we are studying, if we have big dreams,
Sure.
we
Sure.
are living. And then at all of a sudden, we
Sure.
have to make the choices whether we die, stay where we are,
Right.
or whether we leave. And
Correct.
both of them had its horrible consequences.
For
Certainly,
sure.
if we stay, we're gonna die. If
Yeah.
we leave, we're gonna live with that nostalgia
Correct.
of our homeland, right? And being homesick, reflecting on our experiences. And also
Mhm.
the other side of the war is you never trust peace
Exactly.
again. You never
Yeah.
trust peace again, because this is going to be an ongoing reflection. It's not only a one-time thing when you say, wherever I go, I'm going to call it home and that's it.
Sure.
Because every day you're going to wake up and say, what if I lose my home again? What if the war, if so
Start
many
over.
Ukrainians now are in Germany? What if another
Exactly.
war happens in Germany? What if another war happens in Canada, in the
Right.
US?
Right.
No one can assure or guarantee anything, even though we are in the 21st century
Exactly.
and we have technology that we share. We have done so much progress in globalization, in
Yeah.
connecting with each other, in knowing about each other. There's no reason for ignorance. And I think
Exactly.
the sole purpose for any war is domination,
Correct.
and taking away resources from
Sure.
the people of certain countries, whether they are Ukraine or Syria or anywhere. And I
Exactly.
think I think the arrogance that comes with the men in position of power
Yeah.
making those decisions just because they believe they can do it, while
Right.
sitting in their
On the
golden,
turf.
whether
Yeah.
in their offices that they are very very high secured, very
Sure.
protected, and sending young men to die in the
Who
war.
who don't want to go.
So they don't want to go.
They
No,
don't want to go.
no young man wanted to
Yeah.
fight actually and
Yeah.
invade another country and kill innocent children and innocent women
Sure.
and innocent men, and take away a land that don't belong to them,
One for
right?
him. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what Ukrainians are living through right now is exactly what our family had to go through in 2013, and many
Sure.
Syrians had to go through. Because I
Sure.
remember the day when we were leaving Syria, it was very emotional. It was the time when we kept thinking to ourselves, should we stay? Should we leave? Is that the right
Yeah.
decision or is it not? But the goal is we did not want to become numbers on the screen of the media. And if you
Exactly.
know right now,
Sure.
Ukrainians, even in Ukraine, who are going through the same experiences, whenever we watch the news every night, they tell
Sure.
you 100 Ukrainians were killed that day, or 50 Ukrainians were killed that day, or 1,000 Ukrainians were killed, and
Yeah.
no one knows their names.
Right.
No one shares their names.
Right.
The
And we
same thing.
know a lot of
Yeah,
children and women. I mean, to me, it's just it's heartbreaking. That's what it is.
absolutely, absolutely. And the
Heartbreaking.
hardest part is I said to my family, I said, like, I don't want to become a number on CNN. I don't
Yeah.
want my family to become part of these statistics. I don't want to
Sure.
become a statistic. I
Exactly.
just want to be a worthy human being of existing. And
Yes.
that when we left to Lebanon, we became refugees. I think the hardest part was as well is
Sure.
feeling that we lost our sense of identity and belonging.
Exactly.
Because once you lose those two, you are lost. You are
Yes.
lost as a human being, and you do not know what your compass is anymore. You do not
Exactly.
know where to go. You do not know if you should stay. You do not know if you should immigrate. Do not know if you should continue
Sure.
your previous life, or you should start a new thing. You should take
Sure.
another second chance. And I
Yeah.
think the same thing, the same dilemma is going on right
Yeah.
now for Ukrainians, and I cannot imagine the heartbreak that really people are living through, especially that going through the experience of displacement
Exactly.
is very, very difficult, and it would live with you every single day of your
Yeah.
life once you try it,
Sure.
because until you find a place that you can confidently
Mhm.
call it home,
Um,
it is
never,
very
never do the
challenging.
same again. Yeah. Especially the
Exactly.
impact on the children, lifelong impact on them. It's really, really tough. But thank you for sharing that. I want to transition now to this amazing book by the title of Peace by Chocolate. Does this look familiar here?
I can see some familiar faces there. Yes.
Well, I want everyone who's listening to this and watching it on the live stream to go out and get a copy of it. But do it when you purchase the candy. That makes the candy even sweeter. It makes each chapter even sweeter. So I want people to go out. Some of the people won't see it, so I want to add it to the stream here so they can see it here. Peace by Chocolate: The Hadhad Family's Remarkable Journey from Syria to Canada. Peace by Chocolate. And don't forget it, people. So let's talk about the book. So we transitioned and we've made it through to immigration, which is not an easy process.
No.
But then we have the story about your family. What was that like when you saw the book for the very first time? You held it in your hand. What was that like for you?
It was like holding your child,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't have kids. I'm not married, and
Yeah.
I'm also, you know, I was thinking for the first time about how many people are gonna read it and how many
Yeah.
people are gonna get, hopefully, to know the reality
Yeah.
of our journey, because it's so hard to speak to any audience. I'm a public speaker, so I go on stages, I speak for an hour, I
Yeah.
take questions from the audience. We did
Uh-huh.
a movie based on our story. It's 85 minutes, but
Yeah.
there's so much limit that you can
Exactly.
go with 1 hour or 2 hours when you tell a story.
Yeah. Because I
The
saw
book.
your TED talk. That was really, really nice.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
and there's so much limit. Like, you cannot tell anyone really about our background, about the connection of chocolate to our culture,
Yeah.
the way my parents met. The journey of leaving to Lebanon, the journey of ending up here in Canada. How many people helped us here in Canada? I think the most important part of writing the book was documenting our journey,
Yes.
and that's going to help us in the future for the next generations of the Hadhads to
Absolutely.
know the real reason why our family had to leave
Yeah.
Syria, and to know how much we had to go through to reach where we are today.
Exactly.
There is so much pain in the story, but also there's so much hope. And I
Exactly.
think we are all hopeful as human beings,
For
for the
sure.
tomorrow that we want to build for
A
our
better,
next generations,
better
a
tomorrow.
better tomorrow for everyone. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the book has been an absolute treasure for the family in many ways, because John Tatry, who I
Yes.
greet
Uh-huh.
wholeheartedly for taking on this mission, which was not easy. He had to listen to me for hundreds of hours on
Uh-huh.
interviews just writing this book. And I told him so many details. And when you're writing a book, you have to remember every single detail. You have to
For
remember
sure.
what you were wearing when you were 7 years old, and your
Chronicling
grandmother.
history.
Exactly. And your grandmother invited you to have a dinner with the family, and what happened when your sister's wedding happened for the first time a few years back in Syria, and all the little details, of who was the first Canadian that I have met, to
Yeah.
who was greeting me at the airport when I landed,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
to the first house that we moved in, to the first chocolate piece we made, to, I think, remembering the firsts in an immigration journey is so
Absolutely.
entertaining and so amusing, but at the same time, it's so rewarding, to
Exactly.
know that these are milestones that you have come through. Look how far you have come. Look how
Yeah.
far you've come. This is exactly what the book is telling us every day. Every day I see that book on a shelf when I
Uh-huh.
go into libraries, or when I go into
Yeah.
chapters or Indigo, when I go into even the
Airport.
grocery store that's carrying our chocolate. Every time I see the book, I'm like, I'm so proud. Look how
Yeah.
far we have come. Look how many people are getting to read our journey. Look how many, hopefully, newcomers. I was just talking to international students yesterday here in Nova Scotia in Sydney, and we were showing our movie, but also we're talking about the book. And then I realized how much we learn from each other. Like
Yes.
I was telling them, they just arrived in the country, so they don't know how to survive winter. They don't know how to
Uh-oh.
form friendships, and to network within the community, and to start a business, and to make a trademark. To have online digital platforms that they can tell their stories on. All of
Exactly.
that stuff, is something that we share, and I think it's a very wonderful experience and very rewarding
Absolutely.
to live through it.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Tarek. I was speaking in Toronto at the convention center there a few years back, and I had on my thickest wool coat. It was thick. And it did not matter. It didn't matter. The wind just went through it,
That's
and
right.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
frozen. So let's transition, and I'm going through the book now. I just received it yesterday. Let's talk about the movie now. Piece
Let's
by
go.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer on it, but I'm going to schedule myself and my two children. I have two teenage children to go see this movie here in Northern Virginia. We have one a little closer than Washington D.C.
Right.
By Chuck. Talk about that. I mean, I was doing your background history, and I was sitting there like, I wonder what Tarek is thinking when this movie comes out. We have a book. We can do a book, but a
Right.
movie?
Right.
What was that like for you when you saw it for the first time for the premiere?
I think the most surreal moment for the movie was when I was sitting with the audience, and so many people would be like associating my name with a
Wow.
character on a big screen that is not
Exactly.
me. Like there's
Yeah.
someone else on the screen pretending to be Tarek.
Yes, correct.
And it was very surreal. It was something absolutely beyond belief and out of this world. I'm not sure if many people really have known the process of making a movie. It takes so long.
It
We
does.
started talking about making the movie in 2017. So it
Sure.
took us 5 years from the start of the conversation until now. I think there were many interesting conversations that we have had. I have never imagined what a life story agreement is, or a screenplay, or how many factors you need to count for, to fundraise for producing a movie, and to
Absolutely.
cast the actors, and to
Yeah.
test for the actors. At least there are probably tens of people who applied to play my character.
The role. Yeah.
I was not involved in the decision, but I'm so glad that Ayham Abomar got
Yes.
the opportunity to play
Yeah.
me. Hatem Ali played my dad, and
Yeah.
Yara Sabri played my mom.
Ah,
The big thing about the movie, and Mark Camacho and many Canadian actors, but the big thing about the movie is that those Syrian actors who played my family in the movie,
sure.
we grew up watching them on TV. They were legendary actors and directors,
That is
and we
amazing.
admired them for a
Yeah.
long time. They are superstars. They are
Okay.
superstars in Syria and in the Middle East and Syrian drama. So
Yes.
for them to play the roles for our family, it was something that we have never really imagined. We have never really even dreamed of.
Sure.
Because once you go through an experience, it was very difficult for you to imagine how
Sure.
another person that you grew up watching on TV is gonna play you and
Oh,
tell the people your story in their own characters. And I'm
yes.
so proud, every single actor took on this project very seriously, and they played
Yeah.
the roles.
Yeah. Because I
The
saw
other
that
thing,
trailer. I saw that trailer, and they were really.
well done. It's well
Yeah.
done trailer.
That's why people think that the actor is you.
That's right. Yes, because they took it really seriously, and we have some similarities. We have the same beard. He's more handsome than me, but I'm taller than him.
Exactly.
So the thing about the movie too, is that this is not a documentary. So
Correct.
it
Yeah.
was based on our
Real life.
story. There were many drama additions. There was some conflict, and I
Sure.
think the director once reached out to me and said, the story is incredible, and we were talking, and we were like, the storyline does not have conflict, and it might be a problem. You need to add conflict. You need to add
Absolutely. Drama.
drama to the movie, and
Yeah.
then you solve the problems at the end.
Yes. Gets
And
that
that was
emotion.
exactly, yeah, to stir all of the emotions during the movie, and to make sure people don't get bored, when they're watching it, because it will be documentary, and
Sure.
it would not be a movie theater, kind of
Correct. Yeah.
style. So the major motion picture that we worked on for many years, it was released in Tribeca Film Festival last year, and then now in Cineplex in Canada, in movie theaters, and just by the end of April, it started to be showing in the United States. And
Yes.
now we have a big release coming as well later this month.
Okay.
And yeah, another online streaming. Hopefully,
Sure.
VOD is happening soon.
Okay.
Then online streaming as well is happening later on. But we're
Wow.
so happy, with the success of the opening weekend for the movie. It was ranked the second Canadian movie in theaters
Oh, very
on
nice.
opening weekend. So that
And that
was
was
really
going through
fantastic.
Cineplex
That was
theaters.
going through Cineplex. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So it was really incredible, that the movie has made headlines around not only the country in the United States, around the world. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to tell our story. Let me tell you something, Paul, that during
Sure.
this movie, I was always reflecting on the idea of sharing our story. And then I realized, as someone that I admire so much told me once, he said that telling your story does not make you a victim. You are a
Sure.
survivor that is setting the world on fire with your truth, with
Yeah.
your warmth, with your light. So you need to keep going.
It's a
And
testimony.
100%. So
Yeah.
then we kept going. We kept sharing this story. And at a time of hatred and anxiety, you need to share stories of hope and people coming together, and kindness and compassion and empathy,
Yes.
because these are the things that humans really celebrate. These are the things that are gonna give us all a better future, that is going to bring us all together. Regardless of our differences, we
Sure.
are we are all the same as human beings. And I think that's the goal for the movie. But also, there is a line in the movie that says,
Uh-huh.
shouldn't neighbors come before newcomers? Like, shouldn't neighbors be before newcomers when it comes to community help, when it comes to
Sure.
the people who are supporting immigrants or refugees?
Sure.
And at the end, it says, newcomers and neighbors, they are all the same to me.
The same. Yes.
So, and with the kindness, there's a character in the movie called Frank, and Frank is a
Uh-huh.
real person who helped us
Right.
to
That's
start.
your father's friend.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah, they
exactly.
went camping together.
That's right. They were camping together. That's right. So
Canoeing together.
I encourage everyone to watch that short documentary that they made. It was
Yes,
a
I
very
saw
short
that.
documentary. Yeah, on the Atlantic. It was absolutely heartwarming. And I think showing the real characters at the end of the movie had added a huge depth of trust and
Yeah.
confidence for people, that this is not a fictional, not
Right.
all fictional, incidents that happened. It's based on real
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
came together and helped us. But at the same time, I'm really glad that hopefully we're going to see much more reaction for the movie once it goes online. I know that a lot of people are still hesitant to go to movie theaters. Many
Sure.
people have not been to a theater even since before the pandemic, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
encouraging everyone certainly to watch the movie whenever it's online.
I am too from my side as well. I've been really promoting it.
Good
Yeah.
for you, Paul. Thank you for doing marketing for us. Yes.
Hey, no problem. I really enjoy it. And again, here is what it looks like for the trailer. And it says here, Tribeca Film Festival 2021, Peace by Chocolate, a life story. Real life story, no documentary, but a real life story, which is being told by some of the best of Syrian actors and actresses. And again, I want to show the book copy here so that people can go out and just buy thousands of them. Want it for school kids, college students. We want them for corporations. Get out there and purchase the books, get the movie, go watch the movie. And again, you stated it's going to be, you're going to put it back out later on this month
That's
for
right.
another
Yes.
launch, for another
Yep.
launch.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So watch for it. There is actually a website for the movie called Peace by Chocolate
yeah,
film.com.
yes.
So people can follow all the news about the movie there.
Okay. And we're coming to a close at this point, Tareq. Please share any other information that you want to share with people. I have it here on the stream here, and I put in what the location for the chocolate is because I already have an entire box of it. I'm going to have to go out and walk a little bit more this month.
No calories in our chocolate, Paul. It's
Yeah,
made with love. Only
yeah.
pure love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Letting people know they can get it, and I have it here on the stroll, and I'll also put it in the post podcast interview as well. I'll make sure I include all of that in there, and I also have your social media handles as well, and I have it. The one for Instagram is at Tareq Hadhad on here, and then I'll put the others as well. so
Thank
that
you.
people can
Thank you.
follow that.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. I encourage everyone certainly to check out our website, peacebychocolate.ca. It has all the information. It has many videos there about the start of
Yeah.
our journey. And there was a very incredible video that was done by Google a few years
Yeah.
ago
Uh-huh.
that shows our family, that shows the factory, that shows the start of the journey. I just happen to be the spokesperson for the company, but the story is
Okay.
not only me. It's my parents, my siblings,
Mhm.
everyone who believed in us. It's a story of a community, and I'm
Yes.
really happy to have a voice. I'm very honored to have a platform. I think it's a true rewarding feeling to be able to contribute and give back and share a platform. And I think business is about leadership.
Yeah.
Now is the time to think about business as a selfless act of
Absolutely.
contribution, not a selfish act of contribution, and not about building wealth and profit only,
Sure.
but certainly to make sure you care about people, to care about your planet, and to have a big purpose. And you care about return on kindness, because in business you have so much of a platform and a
Sure.
power to be kind to others and to lift others to success.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned before, that Tareq, he's also a speaker. So if you want to, people want to hire you to come out and speak because you have a powerful message about perseverance through adversity, how can they get in touch with you for this?
They can go on my website, tareqhadhad.com,
Yeah.
or they can certainly reach out to me on social media, and I would direct them to our team, and we will take it
Okay.
from there.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, and I'm very honored to have interviewed you and learn more about you. You know, it's one of those things. I did a lot of research. I almost feel like I know who you are, but you know what? You know what that is? It's that you give out the type of spirit that really brings people in. That's what it is.
Thank you, Paul. That means a lot to me. That means
Yeah,
the world to me, and I hope our message will continue to be the cause to bring
yeah,
people together, to celebrate our human values, as I
yeah,
mentioned, of empathy, compassion, kindness, and it's a true privilege for me to be able to share and continue sharing these messages about supporting immigrants, refugees, newcomers, but also make sure that all
yeah,
entrepreneurs out there use their platforms to
yeah,
give those people a chance. Private sector, governments, non-for-profit organizations, no matter if you are in Antigonish or Nova Scotia or Delaware or Wisconsin or
sure.
DC,
Uh-huh.
we have very much the same goal.
Oh,
And I think
absolutely.
the way we share our differences should be in a respectful manner, should
Yeah,
be in a way that aims only for to
yeah,
make us all better as
yeah.
human beings, and to share
Respect,
to share
respect.
what we have, because a lot
Yeah,
of people right now around the world uh,
yeah,
are are really struggling. So we have a lot
yeah,
to be grateful for. Don't forget to be
absolutely.
grateful. Don't forget to
Yeah,
be grateful every day you wake up.
absolutely, absolutely. But thank you so much again. We had an amazing guest, Tariq Tareq Hadhad. He is the founder of Peace by Chocolate, CEO. He's leader, motivational speaker, author, working in that area of chocolatier, but it has a greater message behind it than the candy in and of itself. It's all about community, kindness, peace, and people connecting on a higher level. So I want to thank you again for being our amazing guest. And I want to thank all the viewers as well as the listeners, people who are going to listen on the archive. Thank you so much. But follow up with what this man is doing. He's doing some amazing things. And I'm honored to have been able to interview him today. So have a great day, everyone. And I will see you on the next episode of Wealth Academy Podcast. Wealth is more than just money. Tareq, have a great day, my friend, and continued excellence in all that you do.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Have a great day, and much peace and love to you all.
Same to you, my friend.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much.